We're on day 83 of our Bible in a Year series, and we are picking up where we left off, the cliffhanger we left off on yesterday from 1 Samuel 9. We're picking back up in chapter 10. What is it? Samuel is going to ask Saul, or tell Saul. If only we knew, if only we had been privy to the conversation prior. We were. But it's still fun to see. So we'll jump straight in. For Samuel 10. Samuel took the flask of oil, poured it out on Saul's head, kissed him, and said, "Hasn't the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance? Today, when you leave me, you'll find 2 men at Rachel's grove, at Zelzah, in the territory of Benjamin. They will say to you, 'The donkeys you went looking for have been found.' And now your father has stopped being concerned about the donkeys and is worried about you, asking, 'What should I do about my son?' You will proceed from there until you come to the oak of Tabor. 3 men going up to God at Bethel will meet you there, one bringing 3 goats, one bringing 3 loaves of bread, and one bringing a clay jar of wine. They will ask how you are and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. After that, you will come to Gibeah of God, where there are Philistine garrisons. When you arrive at the city, you will meet a group of prophets coming down from the high place prophesying. They will be preceded by harps, tambourines, flutes, and lyres. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully on you. You will prophesy with them, and you will be transformed. When these signs have happened to you, do whatever your circumstances require, because God is with you. After, go ahead of me to Gilgal. I will come to you to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifice fellowship offerings. Wait 7 days until I come to you and show you what to do." When Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed his heart, and all the signs came about that day. When Saul and his servant arrived at Gibeah, a group of prophets met him. Then the Spirit of God came powerfully on him, and he prophesied along with them. Everyone who knew him previously saw him prophesy, and with the prophets asked each other, "What has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?" Then a man who was from there asked, "And who is their father?" As a result, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" became a popular saying. Then Saul finished prophesying and went to the high place. Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, "Where did you go?" "To look for the donkeys," Saul answered. "When we saw they weren't there, we went to Samuel." "Tell me," Saul's uncle asked, "what did Samuel say to you?" Saul told him, "He assured us the donkeys had been found." However, Saul did not tell him what Samuel had said about the matter of kingship. Samuel summoned the people to the Lord at Mizpah and said to the Israelites, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought Israel out of Egypt, and I rescued you from the power of the Egyptians and all the kingdoms that were oppressing you. But today you have rejected your God, who saves you from all the troubles and afflictions. You said to him, 'You must set a king over us.' Now therefore present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans." Samuel had all the tribes of Israel come forward, and the tribe of Benjamin was selected. Then he had the tribe of Benjamin come forward by its clans, and the Matrite clan was selected. Finally, Saul, son of Kish, was selected. But when they searched for him, they could not find him. They again inquired of the Lord, "Has the man come here yet?" The Lord replied, "There he is, hidden among the supplies." They ran and got him from where he stood. Among the people, he stood a head taller than anyone else. Samuel said to all the people, "Do you see the one the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among the entire population." And all the people shouted, "Long live the king." Samuel proclaimed to the people the rights of kingship. He wrote them on a scroll, which he placed in the presence of the Lord. Then Samuel sent all the people home. Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, and brave men whose hearts God had touched went with him. But some wicked men said, "How can this guy save us?" They despised him and did not bring him a gift. But Saul said nothing. So notice too, and we'll see this kind of a parallel of this later on, but the appearance of Saul is a big deal when he's appointed king. It talks a lot about Saul's look, how he looks, right? So notice that. I'll bring that up later on when we get to another part. Chapter 11. Nahash, the Ammonite, came up and laid siege to Jabesh Gilead. All the men of Jabesh said to him, "Make a treaty with us, and we will serve you." Nahash the Ammonite replied, "I'll make one with you on this condition, that I gouge out everyone's right eye and humiliate all Israel." "Don't do anything to us for 7 days," the elders of Jabesh said to him, "and let us send messengers throughout the territory of Israel. If no one saves us, we will surrender to you." With the messengers came to Gibesh, Saul's hometown, and told the terms of the people. All wept aloud. Just then Saul was coming in from the field behind his oxen. "What's the matter with the people? Why are they weeping?" Saul inquired. And they repeated to him the words from the men at Jabesh. When Saul heard these words, the Spirit of God suddenly came powerfully on him, and his anger burned furiously. He took a team of oxen, cut them in pieces, and sent them throughout the territory of Israel by messengers who said, "This is what will be done to the ox of anyone who doesn't march behind Saul and Samuel." As a result, the terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they went out united. Saul counted them at Bezek. There were 300,000 Israelites and 30,000 men from Judah. He told the messengers who had come, "Tell this to the men of Jabesh Gilead. Deliverance will be yours tomorrow by the time the sun is hot." So the messengers told the men of Jabesh, and they rejoiced. Then the men of Jabesh said to Nahash, "Tomorrow we will come out, and you can do whatever you want to us." The next day, Saul organized the troops into 3 divisions. During the morning watch, they invaded the Ammonite camp and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. There were survivors, but they were so scattered that no two of them were left together. Afterward, the people said to Samuel, "Who said that Saul should not reign over us? Give us those men so we can kill them." But Saul ordered, "No one will be executed this day, for today the Lord has provided deliverance in Israel." Then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let's go to Gilgal so we can renew the kingship there." So all the people went to Gilgal, and there in the Lord's presence they made Saul king. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings in the Lord's presence, and Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. Okay, chapter 12. Then Samuel said to all Israel, "I have carefully listened to everything you said to me and placed a king over you. Now you can see that the king is leading you. As for me, I am old and gray, and my sons are here with you. I have led you from my youth until now. Here I am. Bring charges against me before the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox or donkey have I taken? Who have I wronged or mistreated? Who gave me a bribe to overlook something? I will return it to you. You haven't wronged us, you haven't mistreated us, and you haven't taken anything from anyone." They responded. He said to them, "The Lord is a witness against you, and his anointed is a witness today that you haven't found anything in my hand." "He is a witness," they said. Then Samuel said to the people, "The Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron, and who brought the ancestors up from the land of Egypt, is a witness. Now present yourselves so I may confront you before the Lord about all the righteous acts he has done for you and your ancestors. When Jacob went to Egypt, your ancestors cried out to the Lord, and he sent them Moses and Aaron, who led your ancestors out of Egypt and settled them in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God, so he handed them over to Sisera, commander of the army of Hazor, to the Philistines and to the king of Moab. These enemies fought against them. Then they cried out to the Lord and said, 'We have sinned, for we abandoned the Lord and worshipped the Baals and Ashtaroths. Now rescue us from the power of our enemies, and we will serve you.' So the Lord sent Jerubbaal, Barak, Jephthah, and Samuel. He rescued you from the power of the enemies around you, and you lived securely. But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Ammonites, was coming against you, You said to me, 'No, we must have a king reign over us, even though the Lord your God is your king.' Now, here's your king you've chosen, the one you requested. Look, this is the king the Lord has placed over you. If you fear the Lord, worship and obey him, and if you don't rebel against the Lord's command, then both you and the king who reigns over you will follow the Lord your God. However, if you disobey the Lord and rebel against his command, the Lord's hand will be against you as it was against your ancestors. Now, therefore, present yourselves and see this great thing that the Lord has done before your eyes. Isn't the wheat harvest today? I will call on the Lord, and he will send thunder and rain so that you will recognize what an immense evil you have committed in the Lord's sight by requesting a king for yourselves." So, he's letting them know they messed up, and it's too late. Like, it's done. It's a done deal, but you messed up. Verse 18. Samuel called to the Lord, and on that day the Lord sent thunder and rain. As a result, all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. They pleaded with Samuel, "Pray to the Lord for God, your God, for your servants, so we won't die, for we have added to all our sins the evil of requesting a king for ourselves." Samuel replied, "Don't be afraid. Even though you have committed all this evil, don't turn away from the Lord. Instead, worship the Lord with all your heart. Don't turn away to follow worthless things that can't profit or rescue you. They are worthless." So, even though they'd done this wrong, they didn't do things right, God is still telling them, turn and follow. Worship me. Follow me. Verse 22. The Lord will not abandon his people because of his great name and because he has determined to make you his own people. As for me, I vow that I will not sin against the Lord by ceasing to pray for you. I will teach you the good and right way. Above all, fear the Lord and worship him faithfully. With all your heart, consider the great things he has done for you. However, if you continue to do what is evil, both you and your king will be swept away. Okay. Reading is done for today. And we do have questions. Again, going through these kind of fast today as well. Similar to yesterday. But question 1. Saul's anointing in chapter 10 comes with the Spirit's power. What does that teach us about how God equips those he calls, even when they feel inadequate? So, I said on yesterday's video that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the call, right? Qualifies the called. That's something that I've heard. And this is an example of how this actually rings true. Like, the Spirit of God came on Saul, and that is what empowered him to go on and do the different things. It wasn't something that Saul necessarily had in himself right from the get-go. This was something that he was a supernatural, spiritual, empowering type event. And I believe 100% God still does that today. Question 2. The victory, but like I said yesterday, too, that's not an excuse to not work, to not study at it, to not try to be better, to not, insert whatever. That's not an excuse. Still need to be trying to do that. Question 2. The victory over the Ammonites in chapter 11 unites Israel under Saul. How can shared challenges strengthen our own communities or faith? Well, there's a level of camaraderie that comes just from going through bad situations and bad things with people. There is a level of camaraderie that just automatically comes with that. You can't really fake it. You can't really force it either. It just happens. And those bonds are usually very, very hard to break. The more you've gone through with somebody, the harder it is to break that bond. So I think that is something that we can see in our personal relationships, but we can also see in church. We can see in marriage. We can see tons and tons of places, friendships. Yeah. Question 3. Samuel's speech in chapter 12 holds Israel accountable to God's covenant. How do we balance celebrating God's blessing with heeding his warnings today? Understand, I think one element of this, understanding that God's not done with us. Even if we mess up, God's not done. Even like no matter how bad we screw up, God's not done. He's still there. He's still waiting for us. He just wants us to give him a yes. Yes, everything. It's his. God, it's yours. You can have it. He just wants obedience. That's all he wants. Obedience. He wants a relationship. Right? If you have that, understand that the outcome is not in your hands. It's in his. And that's honestly the best place for it to be. So, yeah, that is it for today. Appreciate everyone watching and listening up to this point. If you can, like, subscribe, comment. Love seeing comments and stuff from people. You can also reach out directly on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or X. X is probably the best way to get in touch with me. If you have something you want to share and you don't want to have it public, or even if you want to share it public but you want it to be anonymous, I can do that as well. But yeah, love hearing from people. Love hearing how people are taking what we're doing. If this has been a blessing to you, consider word of mouth. Like, just share it with other people. That's the best way podcasts grow. So you can share this with somebody else, and it gives them a chance to have someone they're reading along with and be blessed by that as well. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with more of 1 Samuel, and it's going to be a doozy. Don't go anywhere. Thanks. God bless.